So I'm currently camping at Channel Lakes. I'm with my dad and my sister, so I thought I would take this opportunity to do my own thing for a minute. Because I had this realization last night and had a couple thoughts that came through my head that I was trying to keep in mind, so thankfully I wrote them down on my phone. Apparently I had a whole bunch of notes from the night before, some of which I had completely forgotten about. The one that was most prominent for me was titled, "Your Voice is Missing." So we spent a part of yesterday going through the campgrounds and different sites and got some photos.
Want to meet Austin, please?
Sure.
And then I'll do one of you and Austin. Yeah. And I'll do one with
I did some video, and the thing that I noticed was that I was just kind of capturing things around me, which is fine in itself. In itself, that is fine. Like just being able to capture some of the things that are going on, just practicing using the camera in terms of the photo and the video, just capturing family stuff like my dad and my sister kind of doing their thing, hiking and walking, and basically all of us had cameras, so it was just kind of like a photo shoot day basically. And I agree. And the thing that I noticed by the end of the night when I started falling asleep and just kind of processing the day and trying to figure out why I was in such a weird slump mentally, and that is that this message that has been coming up is your voice is missing. Part of the reason I was feeling slightly off about some of the video and photo stuff was that I was not actually being in front of the camera. I was not sharing a specific message that I wanted to get out. And part of that was just indecision. I didn't know what I wanted to film. I didn't know what kind of story I wanted to tell. Other than just the generic vlog, sharing some of the things going on, but I wasn't putting myself in front of the camera. And that was the whole point of doing YouTube, is being able to get in front of the camera, to be able to talk, to share about some of my experiences, to share some of the things on my mind. And this is the thing that seems to be missing from my life quite significantly, is this notion of your voice is missing. My message, my voice, my presence is missing in my videos and some of my writing and some of the ways that I show up in dance, and ultimately throughout life as well. There's just this discomfort with actually showing up and being the voice in my life and being the decision maker and actually having something to say and then saying it. So I'll just read it. How about that? So your voice is missing from your videos, dance, writing, and even your life. You are the missing component. These areas of life are not taking off because you are withholding yourself and your voice from these areas. You do what is familiar, safe, and expedient. You lose out on the opportunities presented before you in everyday life because you have taken yourself out of the equation. You postpone to the future what you could do right now. A simple action guided by your heart and soul can radically change the trajectory of life in this moment, not tomorrow's. You are the missing component that makes all the difference. When you speak up or take action, you've made a decision. You're present. You're leaning into being who you really are. You've stepped off of the sidelines and into the arena of your own life. And you have to do this many times a day, especially those scary or uncomfortable moments full of resistance. It's the little actions that make grandiose changes. So, what action are you called to? What message do you want to share? Who in the room do you want to connect with? What encouragement do you want to offer? Will you speak truthfully about yourself and your experiences? Will you be courageous in cultivating deeper, meaningful conversations with those around you? What is the message you need to hear more than anything else right now? There is no right message to share. You already know that you have a kind heart. It's a little quirky and approaches things different, and that's beautiful. It still has important things to bring into the world, so trust it. Trust that what you share and create and say and do is going to help make the world, including your world, a better place. Just practice. Practice without self-judgment. Breathe into your heart. Trust the callings of the soul. Be present in this experience and go. Do this for you. Speak to you. Create to you. What you do for you will help others. Follow the messages of what you need for yourself. There is no right message, only your message. you need your message, not an echo of someone else's. I know I struggle a lot with decision making and just kind of spontaneous action. There's a lot of resistance I have to just doing even some basic things that I want to do. Like sometimes just getting out the camera to take a photo of something, I have to work up the nerve or the mental capacity to go do it. And I know a lot of it is just because there's other people, there's people watching. I don't know how they're going to react. I don't know how they're going to judge or whatever. So if there's something I want to share, then I want to practice even more, getting better at verbalizing those things, just getting the camera out, and even if I just have to go across the street and just kind of talk at the camera for a while, that's fine. And just kind of getting over the aspect of being heard, because it's kind of ironic. I have this fear of being seen or being heard doing it. Meanwhile, the whole intention is to post this video or audio somewhere on the internet for people to hear or see. I think that the thing I have to remind myself a lot of is that when I have an experience like this, of recognition like this, these types of shifts typically won't be that dramatic. It's just a tiny shift. And just planting those seeds in my mind of this is how I want to show up. That's the seed that I'm trying to plant in my mind right now. And the more that I talk about it as well, the more that it becomes more prominent. And now I can start to look for those situations in daily life or just across life in general of how I can now use my voice to show up, how I can use my voice to be more encouraging and be more directly engaged with people and life. And then can just look for those moments and try to jump into those, even if it's just little things like saying hello to a store person or veering off the path. That was one of the things is while we were walking, I just kind of felt this pull to go try and get a photo somewhere else. So I was super concerned about am I not allowed to go off of the trail? I don't know. I'm sure I'm probably overthinking it. And worst case scenario, someone will just say you're not supposed to be off the trails and you just go back. It's whatever. But I just kind of veered off a little bit and then I just kept going and going and going. Basically to the point where I couldn't even see my dad and my sister at that point, because I went almost to the edge of the kind of trail area, found just a plain wide open field. And I think that kind of invited them to come in a little bit more and get some more creative photos. And we found this wooden structure back in the forest a little bit, and that was kind of cool to see, just my veering off the path helped to spark the others coming off the path, and then we found this really cool place to go take photos and stuff. What is the message you need to hear more than anything else right now?